down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hey.
Welcome to the Sam and Tay's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is round one wrap up here, and Tay, pretty close matchup this week. Well, some of them are.
Yeah, some of them are pretty close. I think the other two of them were close, and then two of them were kind of just the other team didn't show up really.
yeah. This will be a short podcast because there's only four matchups to discuss about. And one of them's yours, and it was a real close match, and we'll get to it. It's funny this week. This is the first time all season we're not going to talk about my team first.
Yeah, no. Doesn't that feel kind of awkward?
It does. Now I'm like, first matchup is somebody else.
We can still talk about your team if you want. We can sit there and just talk about it, see how they would have done.
Yeah, I looked at that this morning, and my team would have sucked this weekend too. So yeah, no, I didn't deserve to be in the playoffs this year. So I'll admit it. But let's go to the first matchup here on my list. It's Kevin versus Scott. Orioles versus P&P Daddy-O's, and Scott was just absent this weekend. He was on a good streak, scoring lots of points, and now in the playoffs he laid a goose egg, 70 points.
Yeah, he did. Andrew Luck was pretty much the only one that showed up. I think he's the only one that shows up like almost every week.
Yeah.
So.
Who was blowing up for Scott? Do you recall on his lineup right there?
Who was blowing up before?
Yeah.
He had like Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, he was consistent every week, and then Tate for a while at the beginning of the season, and then Keenan Allen lately was doing pretty well.
True,
so I think he had a couple here and there. I think that was actually doing during the season pretty well. And then, like I said, luck comes every week. So
yeah,
he had a decent team, I think. Going in, and then he laid a big.
And of course, Emmanuel Sanders was only do as good as Peyton Manning does. And if you watched this weekend, Peyton Manning didn't do much at all.
No, he didn't. He didn't need to.
He didn't need to. C.J. Anderson, but the times that he did throw, he kind of looks not that good.
Yeah.
Maybe everything they said about him playing in the cold weather, the bad weather, maybe it's getting. Maybe it's true. What do you think about that? Do you think Peyton Manning can't play well in the cold weather?
Well, that's funny because wasn't it like last year they mentioned something about that, like where he didn't play well in cold weather, and I think he came out like that next game and he played well. I think it was like against the New England game or something like that.
It was at home against New England in the playoffs. Yeah,
it was something about like and he actually came out. He played really well.
He played very well. He
was saying, this is what people get for talking crap and But I don't know. I think
that's two games in a row. That's two games in a row. Peyton Manning did horrible. I mean, not horrible, but not up to his standards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I had to pick and choose, I'd rather have Manning in a nice weather or a dome setting. You know what I mean? 'Cause I think it works better in his favor. I'm not saying he can't play well in cold weather. I just think he isn't. I mean, it doesn't work very well with him gripping the ball, throwing the ball, and doing getting in. I think a lot of it. So I think he needs that that warm weather. To his advantage. I think he plays so much better that way.
Yep. And Kevin's team blew up at the right time. Cutler showed up. Jordy Nelson. It's just crazy. Gronk. You and I both discussed. Mid-season there, Kevin's team looked dangerous for a minute there. And it shows right now.
Especially with he stashing Josh Gordon forever, and then now, Gordon didn't even show up on Sunday.
Gordon didn't show up at all.
He didn't, but he didn't need to.
He needs to drop New Orleans defense there. How many games have they lost in a row? They lost 5 games at home now, and they haven't won one game at home yet this season.
Oh, they haven't. That's why I wouldn't even want to play them at home. They're not the best road team, and apparently they play better on the road now. But that's that New Orleans team looks horrible. I mean,
they lost to a Panthers team who were horrible all season. You know, Panthers team. That was bad. But Kevin, that's good amount of points there scored. Takes them deeper into the playoffs. And again, currently right now, everybody that placed first, second, and third last season are out of the playoffs. So we'll have new people in those standings. You know, this year. You know, first, second, and third people. So that'd be interesting. This league's tough. You know, 14 teams. You know, so it's really really tough to get good players. You know, congrats, Kevin. Let's go over to your matchup, Tay, and really close with Danny. And Tay, if you saw Monday, you know, I made a chat there saying, "Wow, it's really close. It's going to come down to the very end of Monday night. It's going to come." Yeah. I made a chat about that, and sure enough, it did come to the end of Monday night, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I had two players going. He had one, and depending on who was going to do well, and crazy enough, everybody did well. So. I mean, it's not like Rogers didn't do well, you know, and Lacey did well, Crosby did well for me, you know, my two players. I made a comment because Danny was like, he was upset because he was like the second highest scorer this week, but of course he loses to the high scorer, which, you know, was mine.
Yeah, and if he would have played anybody else, he would have won.
Well, you know, yeah, and absolutely. And I told him in the comment, I said, I think it was because I put a tight end finally in, and that beat him, basically. My tight end scored just enough.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't play a tight end this week, I would have lost. So I had to make that move this week, and I found the best one out there, and that was it. That was the difference.
Yep. Look at the ballsy move by picking up New York defense there. You know. Well, I say ballsy because you know New York was up on Jacksonville by 3 touchdowns at one point, you know, and Jacksonville came back.
They were, but you know what? That Giants defense still actually scored a lot of points last week.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't the only reason why they lost that game is because Jacksonville's defense scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So when it came down to it, when Yahoo does the points allowed, they only allowed like 6 points that week.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 touchdowns was their defense that allowed it. So it wasn't like Jacksonville was scoring against their defense. So they actually scored decent for me the week before. So I figured I might as well just keep them.
Yeah.
You know, play them against Tennessee because they were a good defense. You know, so
yeah.
And it worked out. I mean, they did well, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it was a high score. It seemed like everybody was blowing up both sides.
Yeah. I mean, look at AJ Green. Geez, AJ Green, 224 yards. What did Julio Jones have? And he had to sit out the fourth quarter. Right?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, AJ Green was ridiculous. I mean, that's like I said, I was worried. I saw him put up those points and in the morning game, and I'm like, damn, he's scoring a lot. But then I think right as he was scoring, I think Calvin Johnson was doing well for me, and then Foster was doing pretty well. So I think I was just hanging in there, and I was just.
Oh yeah, and you can thank Scott.
I was worried about Aaron Rodgers.
You could thank Scott for that Calvin Johnson trade too, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally. Maybe I'll give him a buck or something. For next year or something, you know.
Yeah. Were you nervous that Eddie Lacy didn't carry any more balls towards the end of the game there?
You know, I a little bit I was. I just was hoping Rodgers wasn't going to throw it anymore.
Yeah, and he wasn't. They were just feeding Starks.
I figured that, and I figured, you know, hopefully it was just all going to be Starks and. But yeah, I mean, with Lacy, hopefully that injury isn't serious. But yeah, I mean, I was a little worried. He didn't really play that pretty much almost that whole fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just hoping if Rodgers got it close, I hope Crosby would just kick the field goals. You know, and I think he did a late one to kind of make the margin a little bit more because they kicked a late field goal. So I think that helped it at the very end when they did. You know. For Green Bay, so. Yep,
you're now down to the Final Four. You know what I mean? The Final Four.
Yeah, I'm
big
excited.
Four. So, yeah. Like I said, this is a big deal. If you win this league, I mean, 14-team league, it's bragging rights, dude. I mean, 14-team league is crazy. You know.
Oh yeah, because it's definitely not about the money. It's all about bragging.
Heck yeah, not about the money. Come on, dude. There's not that much money in here. I mean,
there's not that much.
I mean, it's almost like. You know, I feel silly passing out the money because it's so little. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't even pass it out, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah,
'cause, I
maybe
mean,
I should
sure
just
you
keep it.
haven't spent it yet because
Yeah.
there's not much to spend.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, let's go to the next matchup, Jim versus Hong, and Hong was third place last year overall, and being new to fantasy football, right? Now,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, Tate. Did Jim beat Hong twice this season? Once in the regular season, and then once right now, also. Do you recall that?
I don't remember. I don't remember if that was. I don't remember if that was. That could be right. I mean.
Yeah, because we were
But, I mean,
we were in shock.
Hong-
Yeah, it could have been
Hong
done.
had- Yeah, didn't Hong have he had one of the hottest teams going in, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he was doing well at the end of the season. He had won, so many games in a row, and he was on a hot streak. And because he was Jim pulled out one hell of an upset. I mean, I mean, to knock off what second? Were you second place or third place last year?
He was third place last year. Hong was third place.
Third place.
Yeah.
Yeah, to knock off that third place last year. That's almost like Jim winning the entire thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think whoever knocks him off, who knocked him off, it may be the winner. So maybe Jim's going to win this whole thing. Yeah,
Could
you never
be.
know.
It could be.
Yeah, he knocked off the champ. The public champ.
Yep. And well, Jim will play Kevin next week, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the score. I mean, Jim put up a lot of points. I mean,
he did. That's a lot.
Third highest score, and his team did well. I mean,
Dang, DeMarco Murray, he should be top back next year, I think.
It's a toss-up, I think, between him and Le'Veon Bell, because Bell he doesn't have much injury as Murray does.
Yeah, but Le'Veon Bell will be suspended next season. Maybe not because they're saying off season.
First
right?
defense now, so he won't be. I don't think he will be suspended next year because first defense I think it's dropped on first defense.
First defense, and if it's something that happened during the off season, because of what happened with Wes Welker and Josh Gordon, got their suspension reduced because it was whatever happened to them happened off season,
Okay. So his was in season though, right?
No. I think he was off season too because remember before the draft we were making a comment about he could be suspended.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
So you're right.
So whatever he did, driving on, him and Blount was, getting high together driving, So you know what, Le'Veon Bell might not be suspended next season.
Yeah, and I think it's a toss up between those two because Bell's a better receiving back. He's got almost 600-700 yards receiving with I think 4 or 5 touchdowns plus with that receiving wise. So all around back, I think Le'Veon Bell is way better than Murray. So I mean it's a toss up. Murray's good as long as Murray's healthy. He's good.
Yeah. You just don't want it to be like LeSean McCoy where you have 1 year you blow up and then first pick overall and then junk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Well, Sean Alexander brings to mind because I remember when he was first overall pick after that record-breaking season, and then squat diddly, right? Madden cover.
What and so if you look at the matchup here, it's kind of funny because he ended up benching starting Phillip Rivers, and Matt Ryan blew up on his bench. So I mean that was what was that? I don't know if that would have helped him win, but it would have made the score a little bit more respectable, So because it's almost like his team didn't show up, but he put up 37 points, so you add about another 26, at least, it's like in the hundreds. So I mean, listen, it makes the team look more respectable. But when you score single digits in the playoffs, and now it's like you kind of got stomped by Jim this week.
Yeah. So Jim goes on to play Kevin next week. So congrats, Jim. Final Four. And let's next matchup. Let's go Terry versus my brother here, Soggy, and he has Le'Veon Bell right there, 49 points. Wow.
Yeah, 49 points, and it wasn't quite enough. I mean,
it came down to Monday night for the kicker.
It did. The kicker. That was all it was, and that one field goal, 50 plus, pretty much was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I think if it was all extra points, that Soggy would have won. But that 150 plus yard field goal basically was the difference. So Terry ended up winning. His winning streak is alive. He's won is it 8 in a row now, or something like that, like some ridiculous number now. So and then he's doing it with Colin Kaepernick as his quarterback.
Jeez, that guy. Yeah.
You know, what's he gonna do? I mean, interesting. See what he does. I don't know if he's gonna keep him through the playoffs and see what he's gonna do. But
Well, I mean, what else? What else is options? You know what I mean? And I bashed Kaepernick all season. So I was justified, by bashing him all season.
Yeah.
He's still immature, Kaepernick, and I'm getting off topic here, but I'd like to bash him any chance I get, I don't know if you've seen the videotape of the halftime between the Raiders and 49ers where him and the Raiders defender got into a shouting match, walking into the locker room. But, any more mature quarterback would have just ignored the trash talking by the Raiders defender and just walk on to the locker room, at halftime. But nope, Kaepernick wanted to stand there and jaw with him, and I'm like, come on, dude, don't let them get under your skin, But anyways, Terry's team is on a hot streak now, and he pulled off a close victory, definitely winning is winning, like my man Toretto said in Fast and Furious, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile. Winning is winning. So he won by 3 points or so, and congrats, Terry. You're in the Final Four. It's gonna be exciting. Like I said, we will definitely have a new top 3 this season.
It's the parity of the league, I guess. To see where it's at. Yeah, and it's crazy. 3 of the teams are actually 7-6. Terry's the only one that actually looks like a champion when he's 12-1.
Definitely he would like to. You don't want to be like the Patriots, with that good of a record and then just lose in the Super Bowl. I mean,
because what did that do for you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that just says you had a good record, So.
Yeah. I mean, he does have the points to back it up,
Yeah.
Well, let's go into our final matchup. I'm sorry. Was that our final matchup?
I think that was.
That was. Oh my God, we went through all 4 already. Wow. Wow.
I hope we didn't have someone else playing.
Yeah. No. That was it.
Unless you want to go into the consolation bracket.
Nah. Well, give me a rundown, Tay. What do you think with Jim and Kevin here? Since we have some time, what do you think between Jim and Kevin's team here?
Well, if you take a look at it, I guess. Jim versus Kevin. Kevin's projected a great deal amount higher. It looks like about 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yahoo, based on Yahoo standards. It's gonna be interesting. I don't see why Kevin's team wouldn't lose. But then again, seeing Jim put up 140 points last week, I mean, like I said, he's got Beckham who's playing well. He's got Murray who's playing well, and he's got Ben Roethlisberger who's playing well. So. And those are the 3 teams, the 3 people that carried him last week, and so it's going to be a good matchup, even though it says, even though it's a 15-point difference, I think it's going to be a really good matchup, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top in this one, and it's pretty close.
Yep, and we'll see if that Josh Gordon, stash will be, will come back and hurt him or we'll win it from,
Well, he's got Johnny Football thrown to him now. So
Yeah.
Johnny Football is the new quarterback in Cleveland. It looks like.
Yep. We'll have to see how that goes. Okay, let's go to your matchup. What do you think?
With Terry. Yeah, I'm like 10 points projected lower than him. So, on paper, I guess Terry's got the better team. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know.
I mean, Jamal Charles can put up those numbers against the Raiders in Kansas City.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the thing with that is, I think the last time I played Terry, which actually was just a couple weeks ago, he beat me, and he beat me basically with Jamal Charles. I think Jamal Charles blew up in that game for him, and that hurt me that week, And so I'm hoping, I guess Charles doesn't blow up again this week against the Raiders. I'm hoping it's a blowout from the get-go, and now Davis does all the carries.
Yeah.
That's all I can hope for at this point, because, like I said, Charles kind of killed me last time, and I mean, hopefully I can try to match him, toe to toe with like Foster or something like that. But we'll kind of wait and see how that kind of ends up for me.
Yeah.
As far as he's got good running backs, man. He's got 3 good starters. And Forsett too, and then Bell is a starter, and then he's even got Blount on his bench, who actually has been playing, getting all the carries in New England. So. He's going to be, he's got a secret weapon, Colt McCoy, on the bench. He's probably not going to play next week. You hear about that? RG3 might be back in, I guess. Next
week. Because whatever happened to Cousins?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, if you don't want Griffin as your your future quarterback, I figured they would have played Cousins next week, but since seeing that they benched him, right? So. Yeah, that's kind of crazy that Griffin might be back in there. But next week's matchup, it's gonna be close. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. I guess hopefully, if Lacey can go for me, that would be nice. But we'll see how that injury plays out for him, and it should be a matchup. Even though it's 10 points, I'm kind of less than 10 points. I think for sure we both don't have the top quarterbacks. I think we have better, running backs and receivers. So I think it's going to come down to that, basically, because, he's got Kaepernick. My quarterback's Tannehill, so, it's not like we have, not like the other matchup where they have, what is the other matchup? Ben and Cutler? I guess that's a little bit better. So, that's kind of amazing. We actually don't, neither of us, all 4 of us don't really have, like, those top quarterbacks on our team, like Manning and Andrew Luck and all that stuff. So we have kind of the backups.
It's everything else, receivers and running backs.
Yeah. So it looks like maybe that's what the league was about, this year, and it's about having that receiver and running back this year,
Yeah. Well, awesome. Good luck to you, Tate. Good luck to everybody else that's still alive, and it should be a good matchup with the Final Four here, and we'll definitely see how it comes out. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and good luck to you all next week.